Welcome to Movie Magic 96, your one-stop shop for all things movies. From reviews, unboxings, and collections, I'm here to celebrate the magic of cinema. Now, let's roll the film. This might be the most important video I've ever made because today I'm talking about a film that literally changed my life. Halloween, the original horror masterpiece directed by John Carpenter. This movie means so much to me for many reasons. It features my favorite slasher, Michael Myers, my favorite horror score, and my favorite final girl, Laurie Strode. Many fans already know that that Halloween was made for just $300,000 and went on to gross $70 million, an absolutely massive profit margin. But what impresses me even more is how this film essentially wrote the blueprint for the modern slasher genre. 90-minute runtime, check. Punishment for promiscuous teens, check. A stalker lurking in the shadows, check. Killer POV shots, check. Yes, classics like Psycho, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Black Christmas came before it, but in my opinion, Halloween kickstarted the slasher explosion of the 1980s. Side note, I really miss the era of painted movie posters and catchy taglines. The night he came home, that tagline alone gives me chills. Today's posters often just cram the cast together like an Avengers promo. What's missing from modern movies is a sense of mystery. Audiences aren't allowed to draw their own conclusions anymore. Every question gets answered, especially in sequels. Is Michael Myers supernatural? Why does he go after Laurie? What makes him evil? In the original, we didn't need those answers, and that's what made it scarier. Speaking of scary, the most shocking kill for me is 6-year-old Michael murdering his naked sister on Halloween night 1963. I try to imagine being in a theater in 1978, watching the scene unfold. The horror must have been unreal. While Nick Castle isn't my favorite portrayal of the Shape, he still delivers a solid performance. Donald Pleasence as the veteran actor in the cast absolutely nails his role. Fun fact, he'd already played Blofeld in You Only Live Twice before this. I've always wondered how John Carpenter convinced him to join this project. Was he the first choice? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Honestly, I could talk about this film for hours, but for now, let me tell you about my personal connection. When I say this movie changed my life, I mean it. Growing up, I was terrified of horror movies. I wouldn't even think about watching one. But one fateful night in high school, I tuned into a Halloween marathon on TV, and for some reason, I decided to give it a shot. And I was hooked. From the start, Michael Myers captivated me. The name alone, that alliteration with the 2 M's, is a huge part of why this channel is called Movie Magic. His mask is so simple, yet so effective. It didn't need gore or over-the-top scares to be terrifying. The blank stare just was. Watching this one movie opened the door for me to explore the entire horror genre. I followed it up with Scream, and the rest is history. Later in life, this love of horror actually helped me get a job. I worked as an assistant manager at Spirit Halloween for 2 years. That passion also led me to start a physical media Instagram account. My very first post on April 2nd, 2023 was a picture of my Halloween Blu-ray and Michael Myers mask from Trick or Treat Studios. That Instagram page eventually led to this YouTube channel. Since then, I've connected with so many amazing creators and even met some in real life at conventions. So thank you, Halloween, and thank you to everyone involved in making it. I know I'm not the only one whose life was changed by this film. The film opens with the now iconic score playing over the actors' names written in orange, accompanied by a unique pumpkin on the left-hand side of the screen. As the credits roll, the pumpkin slowly zooms in until the focus centers on the eye and nose, resembling Michael Myers himself. It's a perfect introduction, immediately setting the tone for what's to come. We're first introduced to the legendary Myers house, and I want to give a quick shout out to the vintage clown mask worn by Judith's boyfriend. It's such a cool touch. As young Michael grabs the butcher knife from the kitchen drawer, the tension rises. It's always surprised me that he doesn't kill the boyfriend, only his sister. Did something trigger him that night? Was it rooted in jealousy, a hatred of sexuality, or something else entirely? Carpenter leaves it up to us, which is what makes this film so compelling. When Michael's parents arrive and his father removes the clown mask, there's a chilling silence. No screaming, no crying, just frozen shock. And this all happens within the first 7.5 minutes of the film. Michael hasn't spoken in 15 years, and we get a line of dialogue explanation. He simply won't speak. One of the creepiest moments comes from Dr. Loomis and Nurse Chambers arrive at Smith's Grove and see patients wandering in the rain. The low quality of the film stock and the pitch black setting make it even more unsettling. Now, if shot today, that scene would be overly lit, but the darkness adds to the horror. Quick question to the audience. Who played Michael when he climbs up onto the car? Because I've never been sure. And yes, you can spot a wrench in the actor's hand when breaking the window. When Laurie drops off the key under the mat at the Myers house, I believe that's the moment Michael decides to target her, regardless of what Carpenter added later in Halloween 2 about them being siblings. Michael had already seen Nurse Chambers and let her live, so Laurie wasn't the first woman he encountered. I like the theory that Michael wants to kill her because her father is trying to sell his house. Laurie sings, "I wish I had you all alone, just the two of us," as Michael watches her in broad daylight. The stalker element is amplified by the calm suburban setting. Laurie Strode is clearly the good girl. Even while distracted in class, she still answers a question correctly, a sharp contrast to her friends. Jamie Lee Curtis was 19 at the time and would go on to star in The Fog, Prom Night, Terror Train, and Halloween 2 before stepping away from horror. Nancy Kyes, who played Annie, was born in 1949, making her 29 while playing a high schooler, a trope that horror films would frequently use. Kyes was a Carpenter regular, appearing in Assault on Precinct 13, The Fog, Halloween 2, and Halloween 3. PJ Soles, aka Linda, played the classic popular cheerleader, a character archetype that would dominate horror films for decades. She also starred in Carrie, Rock and Roll High School, Stripes, and The Devil's Rejects. Annie's line, "Hey jerk, speed kills," prompts Michael to stop his car. He doesn't retaliate immediately, but we know revenge is coming. Laurie's chemistry book moment and Annie mocking her are subtle touches that show their dynamic. It's Halloween. I guess everyone's entitled to one good scare. Sheriff Brackett's line is now amazing. Michael standing among the hanging white sheets is one of the most haunting shots in the film. The interior of Annie's all-red station wagon and the vintage clothing throughout the film add to its charm. At Nichols Hardware, if you pause the film, you'll spot what looks like an alien and Dracula mask in the window. You'll also catch a glimpse of Michael in the background during Loomis and Brackett's conversation. Laurie mentions wanting to go to the dance with Ben Tramer. Poor Ben doesn't survive the night or Halloween 2. We never see the dog Michael kills, which adds suspense by keeping gore to a minimum. Loomis famously declares a man wouldn't do that. This isn't a man, and also the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes. The death of Lindsay's dog Lester is one of the film's saddest moments to me. The Thing from Another World plays on the TV while Laurie and Tommy watch. Carpenter would go on to remake The Thing in 1982. Annie's strangulation in the car is intense, though the throat slit is unnecessary since we don't see blood. Bob's death might also be my favorite. Michael emerges from the closet, picks him up with one hand, and pins him to the wall with a knife. It's incredible. Then, wearing a bedsheet and Bob's glasses, Michael taunts Linda, showing a disturbing side of playfulness. Maybe he's still that 6-year-old on the inside. Jamie's scream when she's stabbed in the arm and falls down the stairs is phenomenal. The scene where Michael rises stiffly behind her and turns his head is horror perfection. If I had one complaint, it's that we see Michael's face briefly. He has a droopy eye as an adult, which he didn't have as a child. It would have been scary to leave his adult face a mystery. Still, Halloween remains, in my opinion, the best horror film of all time and my personal favorite, so I give it a 5 out of 5. Alright, this 4K release features a brand new scan from the original camera negative, which is always the best source you can get. On top of that, it supports HDR10 and Dolby Vision, along with a newly mixed Dolby Atmos track for those with the setup to enjoy it. Scream Factory dropped this 4K in 2021, and it definitely made waves in the physical media community. Now, Lionsgate did release a 4K version back in 2018, but that one had a darker image and felt pretty underwhelming overall. Now, I picked up this 4K a bit late, so I only got the standard cardboard slipcover and not the more premium side sliding cases that most other Halloween 4Ks came in, as you can see right here. And I ordered it from Amazon, so I'm curious if does anyone else have this version? Let me know in the comments. Now, one thing I really appreciate about Scream Factory is how they clearly highlight the brand new special features in bold on the back of the box and on their website. That said, there are no new features in this release, and that's a bit disappointing. I get that Jamie Lee Curtis or John Carpenter probably weren't going to be involved, but still, no Nick Castle, no Nancy Kyes, PJ Soles, or even someone like Dean Cundy who approved the restoration from the camera negative. Even a small update would have been great.
And just a reminder, the Halloween 25 Years of Terror documentary came out back in 2006. Visually, this transfer really shines. At about the 35-minute mark, the film transitions to night and stays there for the rest of the film. The first 7.5 minutes also take place on Halloween night 1963, and the scenes with Loomis and Nurse Chambers are at night too. So it's safe to say this is a nighttime heavy movie. That's where the HDR really helps. It doesn't just boost the brightness, it actually enhances clarity. Unlike many older films, there's very little heavy film grain, which is a pleasant surprise for me. The colors feel natural and not overblown. You've got accurate skin tones, beautiful autumn leaves, and Michael's blue coveralls all looking just right. It avoids the overly bright, washed out look that plagues many Blu-rays. All right, so I also did want to show you the insides. Actually, I'll go ahead and put this right here. So as you can see, I flipped, it has reversible cover art, and I flipped it to the original artwork. And when you open it up, we actually have 3 discs. We have the 4K with the newly commissioned artwork. We've got the Blu-ray with the original artwork. And then we actually have a 3rd disc, the Blu-ray with the original color timing. And you got Michael at the stairs right there. So overall, this is a fantastic transfer and absolutely worth the upgrade from the Blu-ray or even that Lionsgate 4K. And that's why I'm giving the video quality a solid 4.5 out of 5. All right, so when you put the Blu-ray disc in, you can hear that iconic score. It's the same as the 4K. It's going to play images from the film. It's going to say play film. Then it's going to say chapters. And chapter 1, 2, 3, just still images from the movie. Let's go ahead and check out the setup. We've got original mono DTS HD master audio, 5.1 DTS HD master audio, Dolby Atmos, audio commentary with Dean Cundy, Tommy Lee Wallace, and Nick Castle, and audio commentary with John Carpenter and Jamie Lee Curtis, and English subtitles, which are all old features. And then we also have more of those, which would be The Night She Came Home, Halloween Unmasked 2000, theatrical trailers from Hell, Adam Rifkin on Halloween, TV spots, TV version additional footage, radio spots, NBC broadcast TV promo, newsprint ad gallery, and still gallery. Is Halloween your favorite horror movie too? If so, share a meaningful memory you have of the film in the comments below. I'd love to hear your story. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check me out on Instagram at MovieMagic1996 for even more magic. Thank you so much for everything, and go watch a movie today.